This is a company called Abbott Labs. It's one of the oldest companies in American history, actually. They split off a company called 𝗕𝗏𝗡, which is one of the largest, maybe the third largest pharmaceutical company now. I wish there was Excel on Linux. I mean, there is a... Oh, now I understand why the Drake questions. There is kind of an Excel on Linux. I want to show you the product I made that's a lot of fun. Kind of a joke product, but I am going to release it. LibreOffice. Made a variable change that's not parsing it right. So yeah, there's no Excel for Linux, at least, you know, for terminal Linux. There's probably an Excel-like system for GUI Linuxes, but I'm making this stuff for, I have to fix this, some of these, yeah, you can use Vim. You know, it's actually what I did at jail. You guys are gonna laugh, but I had an ASCII text editor, and I would make financial models in ASCII text. So the problem is there was no monospace. So I had to, yeah, it's just a hilarious story. All right, so here's rapid diagnostics. So for 𝗕𝗏𝗡, this has been a bit tricky because COVID was oh, look at that. There is terminal software for terminal spreadsheets using Vim bindings. Wow, SCIM? That is so funny. I gotta check that out. Spreadsheet calculator improvised, hence SCIM. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. You know, there's old systems called VisiCalc, Lotus 123. Oh my God, look at these charts. They're beautiful. Oh man, I have to show my friends this. This makes my terminal. All right, let's keep going here. Adult nutrition. Wait, that was pediatric nutrition. Okay, pediatric nutrition. All right, medical devices. This is what it's all about for Abbott Labs. Although I guess, you know, their strength in some ways is their diversity. Heart failure, structural heart. You guys know all about the heart. You should be able to draw a heart perfectly, anatomically correct on a napkin. If you can't do that, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to know your name. I don't want anything to do with you. Ugh. You probably can name every Drake album, but you can't draw a heart. I'm talking about every valve, every little piece. I need a three-dimensional tool. Maybe I have to make one myself. This is useless. Okay, yeah, so Abbott Labs has been an unusual business because COVID, you know, I'm sure you've heard of their product, Binax, I think it's called. Binax Now, that's their COVID rapid test, I believe. So they had this big expansion, right, of their diagnostics business, and now it's going to shrink again, right, assuming COVID's going away, which I would very much hope it will. Point of care, molecular, 183. Yeah, you can see how much molecular has declined, right? But core lab, rapid diagnostics, here we go. It looks like, if you look at just the rapid diagnostics line, I don't know what happened in Q1. They got some huge order, maybe some government probably. Wow, the pediatric, there's sort of a crisis, I think, in formula, Similac or something like that. There's a shortage in baby formula. Medical devices is not really my thing, but I might get more into it. Shkreli Medical. What do you guys think? It's a nice name. Shkreli Medical Technologies. I'm gonna make pacemakers, whatever the heck Abbott's making. Heart valves, diabetes, lancets, glucose monitors. I don't know. Harlem Biotech, Z-Snarks, same thing. I don't know anything about lithium, sorry. Slim Shkreli, one ball. That's the nickname. How'd you guess? How do you know my nickname? That's that homie, One Ball. What's up? Why do they call you One Ball? Oh, well, you know, I got shot. I have a crappy keyboard mouse set up right now. I actually have the Alienware keyboard out of the box, which isn't great. I usually like a Philco, but my Philco doesn't have a number pad on it, so I have to get a new Philco, but I've been lazy. I'm using a Razer. Is this a Razer? I think that's a Razer. So yeah, Abbott is one of the most storied companies in American history, and I think studying them is probably not a bad idea. they were early to the breakup of conglomerates. So if you actually add Abbott up between Abbott and 𝗕𝗏, it would be bigger than Johnson & Johnson, which is really interesting because Johnson & Johnson is generally considered the largest healthcare company in the world. Technically, if you combined old Abbott and old 𝗕𝗏, you'd have the biggest company in the world, or current 𝗕𝗏 and current Abbott, I should say, to recreate the old Abbott, which was pharma and medtech all in one. They'd actually be the largest health-related company in the world, which is still only $500 billion, which is not even roughly a quarter of Apple. So the biggest healthcare company is not as big as the biggest tech company, or not even as big as a fourth of the biggest tech company, which tells you something. I think we're still early in healthcare, to be honest. There's more money to be made in healthcare. People's health is more important than people's technology. Although right now we assign societal value to one versus the other. Technology is very efficient, so efficiency in writ large is important. Healthcare is not very efficient. But I think, the reason healthcare becomes more expensive over time is not because there's some nefarious bad actor, that someone like me, or you pick whoever you want, Heather Bresch or anyone like that, the Sacklers, trying to extract more and more out of people's pockets. I think the reason is because there's demand and supply, right? Suppliers can offer whatever price they want. They still need the demand part of the curve. And the demand part of the curve has an insatiable marginal interest in their marginal unit of healthcare, right? Everyone wants to be healthier. There's nobody that says, oh yeah, well, I don't need to be healthier, it's cool. Everybody wants to be healthier. So there's a general desire for that. There's no one that says, I have enough health, I don't need more health. But you can say that for clothing or food or shelter or whatever. Nobody says, I have too much health, I'm going to give away some of my health. That's just not the way it works. So it's pretty much the only product like that, in fact. It's a marginal utility of the benefit from that marginal utility is kind of with an infinite demand and very little elasticity, especially if it's not your money. Of course, we do pay for our healthcare, and other parties pay for our healthcare, so there's some elasticity. But if it weren't for those payers, there's a sort of an infinite demand, and people who are very rich, they have more or less an infinite demand. Of course, there are very rich people who aren't very healthy, but there's some friction, basically, in applying healthcare. Rapid diagnostics was $2 billion. Then it went to $4 billion. Then it went to $8 billion. Then it went to $11 billion. Man, that Binax product is killing it. Meanwhile, nutritionals, pediatric nutritionals. Wait a second. Does this add up? I don't know. 𝗕𝗏𝗢𝗏𝗀𝗚𝗏. Something seems off here. Maybe there was an acquisition. Oh, I see what I did here. Pediatric is international plus. So let me do the 1879 plus 2282. There we go. 2140 plus 1987. Okay, so nutritionals hasn't changed much, but if you look at rapid diagnostics, massive change. Adult nutritionals, that's like 𝗓𝗏, I guess, is probably the big product there. You guys drink 𝗓𝗏? Pedialyte, I think, is their other product. Electrophysiology. It's like pacemakers stuff, or is that ICDs, I guess? Rhythm, that's pacemakers. Vascular, that's like stents, I'm guessing. Stents and other tools. And then, of course, they're very large diabetes business. So that's mostly continuous glucose monitors and is their product called Freestyle, I want to say? CGM, glucose monitors in general, and then also, what's the other side of this? I'm so out of it today. I don't know what happened, but I woke up and it was just not good. Not good at all. Feeling a little better now, but my stomach's been acting up. All right, let's see here. We've got the real revenue numbers, but they don't comport with these. These what? These not. Did you all hear the football player is doing better? That's good news, isn't it? I was going to do a podcast today with some friends. Thought that would be a lot of fun, but I'm too lazy. It's going to get my friend Billy the Fridge and my other friend Quest Quest is a Canadian socialist, communist, basically. He's very, I think he's pretty funny. Billy is more of a comedian. He tries to be funny. Quest is sort of funny by accident, I think. And of course there's me, but I want to get one of my homies from prison to make it a little more diverse. One, love you from Egypt. Thank you so much. I've never been to Egypt, but I'd love to go. Yeah, I'm gonna go see Lex Fridman pretty soon. Yeah, so the problem with Abbott, right, is you had this revenue 30 billion, 32 billion, 35 billion, right? This is sort of normal. And then you had the vid shows up, and now they're doing 44 billion in revenue. So will that go back to 30? I mean, it kind of has to, right? It would seem to me like the revenue has to go back. So right now, that little autistic tick in me is bothered by the fact that these sums don't add up to the official number. That's not uncommon. It's just annoying. Can you tell the difference between these two? Okay, well that's 19 and 18. That's 20. It's 20 and 19. I wonder if I have one of them backwards. I think I probably do. Neuromodulation. No, that's correct. 1247. 1247. Structural heart. Okay, and heart failure were both 1247. No, that was 740. Okay, I might have found this the error. Okay, this might add up now. Let's take a look. That's called perfectionism. Watch it add up. 34608. Looks like I probably have two mistakes. It's closer though. It's pretty close. 31847. Gotta just double check things, you know? All right, 1247, 740, 1578, 1914, 2339, 3267. Okay. I guess there's an other. I think that's where the confusion is. So I'm just gonna make up an other. Whenever you're in doubt, you can just make it up. That's what Sam Bankman said, at least. All right, so we can do 34608, which is the official, minus 34542. So it looks like that's what the difference is, that other, which I didn't have before. So now I'm just going to make up another, which I'm sure is what it is. Just, you know, I'm careful. I don't want to end up like Sam Bankman. Wait, I did end up like Sam Bankman. You know, it's funny because I think I actually do pretty good accounting. Well, he's going to end up much worse, I guess, but regardless. So you can really look at Abbott well before the onset of COVID. You can see Rapid Diagnostics was kind of a small $2 billion business that wasn't really going anywhere. Pretty competitive market. You know, they don't just invent new diseases. And then, well, went for 5x. What a lucky thing for Abbott. I'm very unlucky for the rest of us, right? Abbott guys are like, yeah, man, making all this money. Abbott and Pfizer be like, oh, that Birdman. Diabetes has done really well for Abbott. But again, you can see kind of the medtech business, pretty slow growth for a while there, 4%. Although Abbott was always a leader in growth and management. I mean, you want to be a really great manager, not a bad place to go work. Abbott Labs. Again, one of the oldest, most respected companies in America, American history. America and Abbott, dare I say, Abbott Labs is American business history. You can't study American business without studying this company, in my opinion. 150 years of success. Miles White, this is the guy who's the architect of the whole thing. Take a look at these long-term revenue numbers. And remember, they split off the pharma division, so they had plenty of heft before that. This is after they split off. I want to say they split them in 2013, but I don't know. So in 2017, this boost came from the St. Jude acquisition. I used to trade that stock all the time. STJ was their ticker, and they were the big kind of competitor in the ICD space to Medtronic. It's funny because Abbott still has a small pharma division, but it's all outside the US. It's all like emerging markets, like antibiotics and stuff like that. Nothing. Is this right? Rapid Diagnostics was 540. I guess they bought, was it a Lear? Man, what a lucky acquisition. They bought just before the onset of COVID, a couple of years before failure. Structural heart, electrophysiology, rhythm, vascular, and diabetes. Where's diabetes? But did they have a separate line for it, or what? How'd they do that? I'm confused. Where is it? So confused. I seem to remember them changing it around. I just don't remember where they put it. Freestyle, continuous glucose monitoring. Yeah, I'm missing the diabetes segment, so it's a little annoying. This doesn't add up to 27,390. I'm not going to include this wacky tax number here. We don't do GAAP. Should probably exclude this too, whatever this is. Okay, that's good enough for me. What should I do now? Some programming? What do you guys think? Fortnite? Whoa, what happened here? Poker? I don't play poker. Online, at least. Not until Monk has it. Oh, I follow 𝗕𝗏𝗍𝗂𝗧 too closely. Maybe I should. I wish I could go on OkCupid.